Rahubat Collective. Welcome into another reading. We're gonna dive into this uh and see what's going on. See what message, what advice could just be helping you on your mission, on just your life, just moving forward with whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're desiring to do, all of those things. Hopefully, you all have been doing well though. Um, I have been busy beyond belief. Um, I'm always doing something, some sort of project in the background, whether it's tarot related or music related or something. So I always keep myself a little bit busy. But regardless, let's jump into the reading. And the first card we have out is the Hangman reverse. So there is something, uh, someone, some idea you've been faced with that hasn't quite been uh, acted upon. There's something that you know that you need to do, and you could really release yourself from the burden, from the stress, but you haven't. And this could do a lot with the current astrology that's going on with the planets, what's trining and everything. I forgot what we just entered into. Let me go look that up. Okay, so Mercury just went into Pisces, and it's going to do a lot to do with connections, emotions, really just diving into things, understanding things in different ways, diving deeper with your connection to past emotions. And I feel like that's what this Hangman energy is kind of bringing up right now. That's what I'm feeling. Because there's something that you can transition, and you're either working on that or you're trying to figure out how to, but you're not overstay. If you're trying to figure out how to, you're not seeing, you're not overstanding that you already have the solution. There's just an action that needs to be taken. This simply could just be you saying, I want to do this, and you not taking the action to do that due to like some sort of boundary inside of you, some sort of past self that's still trying to fight you, some form of ego that's trying to hold you back in the past cycle because it's comfortable or what's needed. Yeah, the Eight of Cups reversed. There's something that you don't need to walk away from at this time. And that might be a little weird to hear because you're so used to hearing walk away from this, walk away from that. But sometimes you don't need to walk away from something. And right now, with the Eight of Cups coming in reverse, with the Hangman in reverse, there's something you shouldn't walk away from. There's something that you need to continuously do, even if you're not seeing some form of reward or immediate gratification or any gratification on the physical right now. Something's forming within the spirit. Something's being created with the invisible hands at work that are trying to drag you closer. Confirmation with those notifications. I don't know if you heard the beeps on my phone. That's funny. But there's some form. Oh, what the heck? How'd the light turn off? My bad. But there's some form of master plan at work, and you're needing to really move forward. Keep at it. It's like the path has been a weird one for this, especially if this. I feel like this is for like a business. If this is for a business, it's like something's not going right, and it's like you're battling on giving up, or this could even just be battling with starting something. There's something that you know you need to do that you're not doing, and the Ace of Wands reverse kind of clarifies that too. You're not seeing what the idea from the divine is trying to give you. You're not seeing the gratification, you're not seeing the actual bliss that something is going to bring you. Maybe you need to put in more work. And I'll say this, I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. When you are focused on healing, right? We tend to get so caught up in the feeling state and overworking ourselves. And that makes doing things on the physical hard to do because now that you're so that now that you were so fixated on this emotion, on this feeling state, now your brain, now your masculine side is only going to be focusing on that and being like, this makes you feel this way, and then you're going to dump a bunch of that energy of, oh well, I feel that way even when I don't do that, so is this causing the root of this and XYZ, and you're going to be overworking yourself. This is that balance that you need to have, where you're needing to almost like get out of the headspace, enter the heart space more, because you're not seeing the idea. It's like the wand, the match that you have, because it's a match on this card, but whatever, the inflamed object that you have is slowly becoming you, because you're becoming engulfed with all these ways of doing things and all these ways of existing. And you might even be experiencing a cycle of from the past, but with new people, new characters, new energies, that you aren't necessarily familiar with as well. And you might be a little afraid to continue down that path due to how familiar it feels or how convenient it may look at this time. But there's an idea, a grand idea that you're not focusing on. So they need you to really focus on that. Nine of Cups. Again, this is why you're not able to move past that feeling state. There's something that you're not seeing. There's something you're not getting. You you know it's there. You are to some degree consciously aware of it. No matter how grand it is, you're aware of it. And you're needing to really hone in on that idea that you're being faced with, and really, really, really know, not trust it, but know that it's going to work out in a favorable manner for you. There's something, it's like you keep forgetting one grand part of your life, and it's because of these small hiccups that happen, and you're needing to really remember that grand thing that happened so you can leave this cycle. And the Two of Pentacles reverse, there's this misjudgment of self. There's this shaky ship in the background. All these waters going crazy. There's not a connection with yourself. What you're wanting on the physical is not connecting to what you're receiving on in the spiritual, and you're needing to really connect with that. You're really needing to see what's going on with that. In other words, instead of just saying physical and spiritual, what you're getting mentally is not working with you with your heart. What you're feeling from your heart space, what the divine is putting in you from your heart space, is not matching up how you're thinking or how you're perceiving things on the physical, and that needs to change. And I'm going to say needs, I'm going to keep it that way as well, because the hangman reverse, the Eight of Cups reverse, these cards are saying that there's something that you know, it's like you can't mess up on this. There's a test that has already, it hasn't been failed, but it's been avoided to some degree. With the Emperor reverse, yeah, there hasn't been an actual action taken to pass a form of test. This could even be you relying on past solutions, because this situation feels so familiar that you're using a past way to get out of it, and that's not going to help you. The past can definitely show you what you can do to lead up to that, but it's not, that exact method is not going to help you in this time, because you're in a whole new energy. So you're needing to figure out where you're at energetically so that you can put in the correct actions. Queen of Swords reverse. And until then, you're not going to be thinking with the divine. You're not going to be cooperating, co-creating with the divine. You're going to be co-creating with your ego, which is only going to create frustrations, blockages, all sorts of unnecessary, rambunctious activity that is going to hurt you. And you're even going to be talking down on yourself. It's like these past cycles that you already know that you want to avoid. They're just kind of showing you how these things build up from different angles, because in order to really reach that new level, that next level, this is something that you have to overcome. This is a new mental break. Some people can mentally make it and make that leap. Other people will struggle with it for a minute and then make it. Some people just are not built to make that, and that is okay. And it's not, it doesn't have to be as grand as you think it is now. What you're thinking is the end goal. What you're receiving from the mind and what you're really wanting to get is the end goal. But you have to remember, there's a process that goes on. There's an order, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an apex that happens, there's the end, there's the resolution, there's all these parts to the story that you're part of. And you're not remembering that you don't just get from A to B. That's what the ego is trying to get you back in the loop of, oh, it's not working immediately, so it must not be worth it, and everything's just shitty, right? This is up for you to decide, though, if it's really going to work with you. With the Four of Pentacles, what have you been holding on to so tightly? What actually is helping you? and what isn't helping you. Sorry, I'm trying to get the lighting a little better. But what is helping you and what's not helping you? What are you holding on to that's keeping you stuck, and what are you holding on to that's actually going to benefit you and push you forward? This is what needs to be seen. With the moon reverse, this is definitely um, a conscious, a very conscious behavior that you're aware of. It's not subconscious anymore. It's on the surface, but you're not seeing it, and you're not seeing how it's reflecting out. So it feels like it's a subconscious. You need to read your realm a little bit more. Pay attention to the people that come in. Pay attention to your thoughts of the people that are coming in. Pay attention to how you're spending your time, your money, your resources. How are you spending them? Don't waste them. If you say, "Oh, I'm wasting time," or "I'm killing time," why are you not spending time? Why you it's like you're getting this funding, which is time, which is that energy, right? And you're saying, "Oh, I'm killing it," or "I'm wasting it." Then why did you need it in the first place if you weren't going to use it correctly for the things that the divine's giving you? And this is kind of setting you up for that path of, hey, we know what you want, but you're not using our resources wisely, right? It's like when you go get a grant, you don't use the money on the grant in the right way, there's going to come back on you. Nine of Cups, this is what you need to understand. This is the genie in the bottle. This is when you're finally going to create what you're desiring with the nurturing ability that you have. But you need to connect with the genie inside of you. You need to connect to that heart space, the heart space that's with the divine, and not the heart space that's connected to the physical, right? You need to understand and really see that, and talk to your heart, talk to your heart space. Your mind cannot enter your heart space. That's why in all sorts of places they tell you, "Oh, you need to clear your mind, you need to silence your mind, you need to, focus on only your heart and stuff," because your mind cannot enter your heart space. It is dirty, it is corrupt, it is unable to. I want to say it's prevented. There's a better word. Prohibited, that's the word. It is prohibited to enter the heart space. It will dirty it up, and the heart space is where the divine resides, and wherever the divine resides cannot be dirty. Uh it cannot be phallic. You know what I mean? So you have to understand that, especially when it comes to manifestation. You cannot allow that mindset, that headspace, to corrupt what you're feeling, what you're wanting. And if you are at the stage to where you recognize that split second thought of, "Oh, this isn't going to work," or "This is ass," or whatever, when you notice that, that's progress. Want to know why that's progress? Because beforehand you didn't notice it. Beforehand you're like, "Oh, whatever, who cares, it's just that thought coming up again," right? Now you're noticing it. Now it's becoming a problem. Now you're like, "I don't want that though. I know that that's a part of me because it's in me, but I don't want that. What I want is the part of me that's agreeing with that. I don't want the disagreeable part anymore. I want the agreeable." So you're noticing it, you're seeing it. That's progress, that's work. Most people don't even notice that. Some people just do that on purpose because they just believe that nothing's going to work for them. You're noticing it though, especially if you are noticing it. That's the thing. You're making that progress. So when you notice it, you now have a chance to combat it. "No, that's not what I want. That's not what I desire. That's not true." Now, when you say that, it's going to go quiet. It's going to dim down. It's going to dim down more. And now, when it dims down, when it gets barked at by the side of you that has that control, right? It's not going to be as loud. It's not going to be as obnoxious, right? It's going to be a little bit more of a whisper, but you'll notice it still, and you'll be able to then, at some point, whenever it stops, occurring, you'll be able to see it, be faced with an idea and go, "Oh, I want this actually," or, "Oh, I don't think I'd want this, but I'll see what's going on." You'll be less reluctant to immediately decline due to certain traumas, triggers, or whatever have you, past matrices, right? And this is the Fool. This is that next leap. That's the journey that you're on right now. Is really seeing, how do I stop that voice from just denying everything that I'm desiring in my life? How do I stop that voice from telling me I can't, from telling me, "No, it's not going to work out," from telling me all these things? How am I going to notice that? What do I need to do to bring my awareness to that point? What can I do? And that's where it comes down to you. connecting with yourself. How can you connect with yourself better? How can you stop and reflect for a moment on your own thoughts? How are you going to realize, actualize, and then stop and halt and yield your ego from just running the control from, not doing anything to immediately putting up a block? How are you going to do that? How are you going to switch these things up? Everyone is different, but we're all the same when it comes down to it. Everyone has that egoic thing that like stops them, but each one of us are going to have a different way of actually stopping that ego from continuously pushing us down that path. And that's what you're being asked to do with this leap of faith, right? The Five of Pentacles. See what's keeping you out. Why is your mind so damaged? Your heart cannot be hurt. Your heart cannot be damaged. That is your mind. Your brain will tell you that your heart hurts, but that's your ego. That's not your heart. Your heart will not feel pain. Your heart cannot feel that type of pain. Your heart is where the divine is, where all infinite bounds of love is. It cannot feel anything other than. That has no choice to, because it chooses to just follow that feeling instead of following the other things that the mind will create. The mind is the illusionist. The mind, the mental realm is where the illusions are. You are an illusionist with your mental. Your heart is different. Your heart space is sacred. When that sacred energy meets that illusionist, that's when you become the magician and you're able to manifest whatever you want in your reality, right? Unfortunately, we're all that way, no matter how much we realize it or not. When someone says you're a master manifester, everyone's a master manifester, in a funny way. Now, we're not master manifestors because you can't manifest what you're desiring. And let me tell you this, you're not a master manifester if you're still struggling with issues that you do not desire to have in your life. That means that you're manifesting things that you are unable to control or master. What is a master? Right? You're being able to control your manifestations. Until you're able to control them, that's it. You can't just say, oh, I can't control it and that's okay, so that's me controlling it. No, that's your ego doing that, and that's a cop out. That's not actually doing anything. That's just lying down and letting your ego use you as a doormat because you're unable to fight your ego, right? That's what you're needing to see and understand. Everyone's a manifester, but not everyone's a master manifester, because a lot of people are still in undesirable locations and undesirable lives, not living what they truly want, not allowing their soul to truly mature, meaning that they're not a master manifester. They're a novice. We're all apprentices. We're all immature. We're all mature at the same time. It's okay to be these things because it's the part of life. It's a part of process. Don't let your ego make you think that it's something else, right? Page of Swords. You need to really investigate your thoughts. You need to really sit back and see, what are you on the cusp of? What are these thoughts bringing you? And how are they helping you move from the beginning stage to the working stage? How are they helping you move forward? So, and then when you do that, master it. You'll begin to master your emotions by seeing these thoughts like, okay, well, I want to go to I don't know, to the movies, right? I want to go to the movies, but I don't know if anything is on. I don't know if any movie I like is on. So you go start looking up movies, and it's like you see a movie that you like, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can't go to the movies. I'm scared. What if I see someone there that I know, XYZ, yada yada yada, and then those thoughts then begin to create this feeling space of uncomfortability, of bringing up past traumas that then begin to irk your ego, to make your ego need to defend your heart, not understanding that your heart doesn't need to be defended. Your heart's just going to allow things to happen. Your ego wants to try and be like, oh, you need me to defend you. You need me, when you don't, right? You need to switch that ego from being that toxic masculine or that karmic masculine energy into a divine masculine, or, well, I guess you can't really say that, but this is a good energy for the masculine, right? I was going to say something else, but it wouldn't work. And you do that by going into this hermit mode. You really got to go and draw the information up. Again, like on the Rider Waite, the hermit has the lantern and he's looking down. His eyes are closed. He's looking down. He's not drawing confirmation with that notification. He's not walking across the landscape. He's drawing things up. He has the shepherd's stick, and he's the shepherd's cane, and he's drawing information from the deep blue up to the mountains. When you're in the mountains, you're up high, you're in the air, you're in the higher realms, you're in your higher chakras, if you will, right? You need to be in that energy to master these emotions so you can move forward. And Three of Wands, investigate what's going on. You've already been faced with a bunch of things that are happening. You've already been faced with a lot of predicaments and I'm going to say occasions that have really irked you in certain ways or pushed you to be something different or have molded you into who you are now, right? And it's time for you to really investigate what they were doing and how they're affecting you today. Are you just overly judgmental on people to protect yourself, quote unquote? Because that doesn't protect you. That ends up pushing you away from people. That ends up putting you in a position where you're not actually desiring to be. And then your ego will make you feel like it's okay because everyone's out to get you. They're not. And that it creates this whirlpool of your own demise around you, right? In the Five of Cups, that's what we're trying to leave, is this regret energy. There's not a need to be in regret all this time. There's not a need to feel bad for what you're doing. You know, you still have those two cups. You can still connect to yourself. You know how to connect to yourself. You know what you're doing. There just needs to be a moment of relaxation. There needs to be a moment of calming that mind space, you know? And the Eight of Pentacles, you need to see the Eight of Pentacles is a sun card. I believe it is Sun in yeah, it is. It's Sun in Virgo. Okay, I am right, yeah. But it's a Sun in Virgo card. You need to be very aware of what you're working on. Being aware, being consciously active in life, being consciously additive or subtractive in life, right? Really knowing what you're doing, where you're doing it, and how you're doing it. And then you're going to receive with the world your scepter. You're going to receive what you need to move on so that you can. And here's the Ace of Pentacles. Once you start doing that, you're going to really receive what you desire. All you need to do first, though, is really move forward, is really see what is being handed to you. What is mother handing from you? Mother is the divine. Father is time. Father's all around you. Matter is father. Okay, so hold on. The way it was explained to me recently, which was very interesting, is mother is matter, matter, right? And that's mother in Latin. Now matter is father. So father time, time is related to matter, right? And then matter, the mother, the water, right? That's how it is. You nurture yourself with that. Anyway, I felt like breaking that down for someone. I know someone needed that. But receive what you're being given. Do not hold back from it. The Ace of Cups, again, because again, this is something, and there's mother right here as I was speaking of her. You're not receiving mother, you're receiving father. You're not receiving matter, you're receiving matter, right? You're receiving what you want on the physical, not receiving what you need on this, on the spiritual, on the feelings aspect. So really dive in. You're doing the things on the physical. You're doing all that physical work, but there's something that needs nurturing, and that thing that needs nurturing is yourself, is what you're perceiving on the physical, right? You don't quite yet have your keys to drive. You're being restricted. You got arrested for drunk driving, and now your license is revoked. That's basically what the J.R. card is saying. You don't have your scepter. You are going to have your scepter, but until you start focusing on what you're needing emotionally, feelings wise, not emotionally, but feelings wise, what you're needing intuitively, you're not going to have that actual scepter to drive off and get where you want. You have all the plans, though. You know what you're wanting to do, you know how to do it, you know what it's going to take to get there, but you're not doing that, right? The Six of Cups reverse. You need to come back to yourself. Get that masculine. Get Jack. I know he's a jackass. He's up there thinking that he can run the world. Get Jack to come back down to Jill. Jill's sitting there like, what are you doing up there? And Jack's like, I'm gonna get water. No, you're not. You're gonna break your neck. Come down. Get straight. Do you not see? We like, come on. You know what I mean? Come back to yourself, though. Really, come deeply back into yourself. And once you do, once you come back to yourself and you start planning things out correctly, the way that you're desiring to, the Knight of Swords, you're going to be able to move from that mental plane to the physical, to what you're wanting. You're going to be able to transmute these thoughts, these ideas that you've been faced with, that's created a feeling, that's created these thoughts, these plans. You're going to be able to actually act on them now. You're going to be able to actually move forward and see what you're needing and see what you're desiring, and receive what you're wanting, and even more than that as well. But you need to first take these steps. You need to first take those steps and walk that path. And though that might not be the easiest or the most fun at times, it's still something that you need to focus on so that you can for yourself, so that you can remove any sort of past limiting belief, any sort of past boundary. You know, you might even be doing like spiritual cleanses and stuff, right? And that's good and all, but now that you've done those spiritual cleanses, what are you going to do on the physical to help that? What are you not going to allow your thoughts to continuously do? Because you can cleanse other people out of your energy all day long, but at the end of the day, if you yourself have not released whatever you have based on your experience with them, you are not going to move forward. It doesn't matter about that other person. It's all about you. And so many people want to say, no, it's someone else. No, it's you. And it's you projecting it that it's someone else because you don't want to take accountability deep down inside, because you're embarrassed or ashamed or in regret that someone uh, that you trusted someone with whatever value you did. Again, this is not like something to alarm you. This isn't something to scare you. This is not like an alert. This is some sort of just warning. It's just telling you what's up. You might have been ignoring this sign, ignoring this red flag, ignoring this call, right? There's not a need to be in a temperament. There's not a need to be in like an anger or to have something blow up in your face. There's not a need for these things to happen. There's not a need for you to continuously go down these cycles where nothing is working out in your favor, or everything ends up going corrupt. That doesn't need to happen, right? Not as bad as it does. You need to pay attention to signs when they happen. Don't get lost. Don't get drunk within the emotion, within the fields that you're in, within the energy. Don't ride the high for too long, right? Realize when it's time to leave. Realize when it's time to move, so you can become imbalanced. Because right now you're imbalanced. You're not receiving things in a fair manner. You're not receiving things that you're desiring in the way that you are wanting them to. You're not paying attention to those signs, those synchronicities that the divine is giving you to help you move forward, right? And it's time to stop ignoring that. It's time to stop ignoring excuse me, I'm gonna get some oil on my hair. It's time to stop ignoring um what you know you have to do. It's time to stop ignoring the the obvious. Because again, this is something that you know. This is something that you know you need to do. This is a disconnect between you and yourself that you're trying to better, to really move forward with. And again, don't get caught up in the glam of things. Don't fall for the all that glitter is gold bullshit, right? Don't fall for, oh, everything's gonna work out because someone told me. It can work out because someone told you. It can work out because you know how to allow it to work. But you first must take those steps to allow it to work. You must first take those steps to make it move forward, right? Remove that mask that you have on. There's a mask. That mask is the veil of the ego that's going to really keep you stuck in these deep places. It's going to keep you from listening truly to the divine. It's going to allow you to take other people's opinions. Oh, do this. Oh, do that. Oh, that's a good idea. I don't want to do any of those. I want to do what I want to do. That's not ego. That's your soul trying to speak to you saying, hey, you want to do this? Do it. Stop listening to other people. They don't know what I put on your heart. Do what you desire to do. Don't say, oh, I'm being forced to do it, because if you're being forced to do it, that's your ego. The divine will not force you to do a damn thing. You got free will, but your ego will take that free will and shove it right up your ass and make you feel like you have to do things. You don't. You don't have to do a damn thing. That's your ego. That's your fear boundary. Do as you desire. This is something you need to know. This isn't something hidden. You might even know it, but you just needed like a, hey, remember this type of thing. And that's okay. But just always understand that you're not walking this path to be miserable. A lot of people want to say that they are. They can keep that misery. Personally, I don't walk with misery. Personally, I don't fuck with the devil like that. I'm okay. I don't need to know about the devil in my life. I'm good. I'm fine. Y'all can keep them. I'm good. All right. I'm with Michael and them. I don't need that shit. I'm fine. They can keep it. But don't be quiet. It's time to start moving. If you've been in a quiet place where you haven't been doing things and just been silent and resting, It's time to get moving. It's time to start moving forward, right? Don't allow people's opinions making things awkward. Don't allow things to be, don't let people call you cheesy. Don't let people say that, oh, this isn't right or that's not right or XYZ. Who cares what they're saying? Who cares what they think? Do what you desire to do. Do what you need to do, right? People, that's how your magic's stolen. It's not stolen by other people. It's wasted by you. You end up giving your magic to other people. Instead of you doing what you desire, you then go around and go, oh, you should do this, you should do that. And then you sit back and you're not doing what you desire to do. And you're just giving your stuff away to people. And then you say that you're being drained. You're not being drained. You gave them that. And then you continuously give them that. Whether it's on an emotional, a physical, a mental, a spiritual way, you're still giving them that. You need to cut those resources off. It's you. You're the source of everything in your life. So you need to cut things out. You need to rearrange. You need to overstand and realize. You need to redefine, right? There's not an easy way out. There's no cheating around it. There's no, I'm going to scapegoat someone else and life is going to get miraculously better. That doesn't work like that. You need to put in that effort, right? Pay attention to the phases. There's a phase that's happening that you're trying to avoid, that you're trying to not see, and it's trying to lead you the right way. But again, this might even be you not listening to, with the angel reverse, you're not listening to the divine. You're not paying attention to the phases, to the cycles that the divine's showing you, right? You're not seeing something. Something's not been caught on film yet. You can't see something yet. Something's about to happen that you're not seeing, but you need to take the steps to get there. Your third eye might be having issues. Do some third eye meditations. You need to spiritualize it though. See it from a different viewpoint. Stop seeing it as such a physical thing. Stop seeing it as such a fear-based thing. Fear-based is not spiritual. Someone saying, oh, you're being attacked by magic, that's not spiritual. That's physical. That puts fear into you. That activates your lower chakras and puts doubt and worry and confusion in you. That's not spiritual. It is, but it ain't the spiritual that you're wanting. Unless you want to be controlled by the devil, then maybe that's on you. I don't care. But that's what you need to realize and understand. It's not as spiritual as you would want it to be. It's not the exact way that you're wanting it to be, right? You're not seeing what God's doing. You're not seeing what God is trying to show you and tell you, which is why you haven't been on that right path. Confirmation with those birds coming around. Let's go. When it's time to move, pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the numbers around you, the numerologies around you. Pay attention to the planets, the sciences, everything. Things are ending, things are beginning. We're going into spring at some point. Things are moving into action in a different way. So just be very aware of that. We're not going to get that many from this deck. I do a thing where I do a coin flip and I get all the decks and I see which ones I need to use. We have 3 tarot decks I need to use. This is gonna be fun. This is a fun one. But regardless, just really see what you need to do in that aspect. Really take that power back and show yourself and believe in yourself so that you can receive that what you're wanting, so you can receive what you're desiring. Because again, at the end of the day, it's all you. And if you're wanting justice, then you need to be able to move within that energy of justice and not move in the energy of victimization or uncertainty or things of that nature, right? All right. So we have, the 10 of Wands. You're just carrying too much. There might even be, past ideas, past ideologies, past things that you just hold on to, and you're fanning them out. You're trying to keep them alive by any means necessary because it's your ego trying to grab on. A lot of people struggle with this. A lot of people go, oh, if XYZ wasn't doing this to me, how do you know they're doing that to you? Oh, because I think about them. Why do you think about them? Because they're doing something to me. No, they're not. You're thinking about them. And then you thinking about them, you're now comparing your life, how it is now after you met them, and now you're assuming that they did those things to you despite you being away from that person and you're not moving forward. You're stuck in that loop, that cycle that keeps saying that, oh, they're doing something to you. So now until something happens to them in your mind, that's how it is, and with the collective conscious and how the whole world's connected, until something happens to that individual, you won't be able to move forward. So then you gratify that by listening to all these tarot readers who say, oh, so and so is getting this, so and so is getting that, maybe this, maybe that, right? And that gratifies the ego. And then your ego goes, well, see, that's solidification. Until I hear that something bad's happening to that individual, I can't let you move forward. That's what goes on, and that's what you need to quit doing. And that's the whole cycle. That's a big curse that's around the tarot scene, but no one wants to talk about it. You have the Six of Wands. This is what's keeping you from that victory, though. Again, let loose, drop it. It's time to drop whatever something is in the past. You're tired of it, leave it. You don't have to do it. I'm tired of XYZ. Stop it then. I'm tired of hearing readings about XYZ. Stop watching them then. I'm tired of not getting XYZ. Then stop doing what you're doing that's preventing you from getting there. If you've done everything that you can to get there, look at it from a different angle. See what you need to do. Are you not being vocal about something? Do you have a gateway to go through? Do you have another choice? Are you not allowing yourself to be fully authentic with yourself due to a fear of being seen a certain way? Or are you able to really muster down and have that courage and control that lion, that cowardly lion, Wizard of Oz and Strength card, to really move forward and get what you desire? This is what you need to ask yourself, King of Swords. Until you can ask yourself those questions and until you can determine a solidified output, you're going to continuously go in this cycle. You're going to continuously be in these areas of, oh, I don't know what to do, XYZ this, XYZ that. And you'll end up seeing, and funny thing is, we'll talk about this right now too, because it relates. This is the karma of the situation. Karma doesn't happen to an individual. It happens to people or things around them. So when you don't do something that relates with your soul, that helps you out, you then see it externally. A big thing that I had to understand and I had to digest was my karma for not speaking about the truths of tarot, for not diving deep within tarot, without starting these classes on tarot, without talking about the things that I was talking about. I then had to watch countless people swarm, like do a an ant circle and not escape and just continuously walk in that ant circle not knowing what's going on. That was my karma because it affected me and it hurt me and it made me feel a certain way and it made me upset at other things due to my observations and do what I knew internally. That's what karma is. So when you see an external output that is not helping you, that's karma on you because you're not doing something that could change that external output. You're not actually putting anything forward. When you're tired of seeing someone in a constant situation, it's your fault. You're seeing it because you can actually do something to help, but you're not doing something to help due to an ego or due to a fear or however, right? And then you're going to be in that karmic cycle to where you're going to continuously see that and be worried about that at XYZ. And that's what you're needing to break. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but it's your observation, it's your life that you're seeing. So how could it be anyone else but you in your lack of action or action? Because both of them are actions. Knowing this, understanding this, and moving with this is going to put you on the top of the wheel. When you start taking actions that are resonant with you and who you are and what you desire to do and what you desire to see, not only for you but for other people as well, things are going to start working out and better for you because you're not only receiving what you need to do, but you're also giving what you need to do, which is in verse going to allow you to receive more and give more. And then that cycle is going to continuously go. But right now, you're wanting to know how to get to the top of that wheel. That's how. All right. Don't think about it too much. Two of Wands, reverse. Don't allow yourself to feel like you're powerless. Don't allow yourself to feel like there's another force externally around you. You have the world in your hand. You have a wand in your hand. It's you in your world, in your ideas, backed by the masonry that the other wand is put in. It's bolted there on the rider weight. It's on the masonry bridge. It's on the bricks, right? It's bolted there, and that wand is the divine showing you that things are going to always happen. Life is just going to be a way, but you have to determine which way you're going to go with the globe in your right hand and the wand in your left. You need to use that spiritual funding to change the reality. The whole world is in your hand. You just need to be able to move with it and cooperate with yourself. Three of Pentacles. Really listen to the plan that the divine has on the Three of Pentacles on the Raider weight. You'll see the feminine has the scroll, the masculine's given the directions, and then there you are with the hammer and chisel. But your hammer is in your, I believe it's in your right hand, and the chisel's in your left. I mean, it should be the chisel is in the right and the hammer is in the left. I believe is how it's supposed to be. It's one of those two ways. I have to go back and look at the hand symbols and like redo it. I believe that's the way it is. It's confirmation. I'll take it. But the star reversed, there's that wisdom that might have been a missing key for you, a missing wisdom point. And a lot of people, I just don't like them when they say this bullshit because it doesn't make a damn lick of sense. They'll be like, oh, you can't talk about things because it's going to hurt their journey. How do you know it's going to hurt someone's journey? What if that person's journey was to wander on your page and get that knowledge from you? Dummy. You can't be saying shit like that. If it's not for them, it's not for them. They'll get the education, they'll get the lesson, but then when they get it, it's their turn to live with it and live with that lesson and test that lesson, put it to its theory. You know, you have to be a scientist at the end of the day. So speak about things. And if people don't get it or they can't understand it, that's cool. But if you don't speak about it, then what is that doing for you? That's only allowing the ignorance that you don't want to see continue on in this world. So, roadblock. That's the truth. Let me just tell you that. So you have to pick a side. Are you going to be the side that allows people to continue being ignorant, or are you going to be on the side of people that's trying to educate and lift people up and get them out of this hellhole, right? That's what you really need to get down to and decide and work with. The Two of Cups. Exactly. It's this disconnect within yourself, though, that's allowing you to do that. Once you see that disconnect, once you really make those points and connect them, you'll be able to move on. Knight of Wands. You'll be able to move on from the idea that you have, the idea that you've been working on with the divine XYZ. You'll be able to move on from that and actually overcome, overstand, and have that end result and the lessons and the blessings and everything else that comes along with it. We're going to go ahead and use these purple cards real quick. And then we have the Raider weight to use. And then the Angel deck, and then we'll be done. But really pay attention to that. Pay attention to your realm. Pay attention to your realm. How are they making you think? How is it making you think? How is it making you feel? How is it making you think that you feel something as well, right? We have emotions. Again, just pay attention to the feeling space, the water around you. Things are moving around you. There might be some shaky feelings, some shaky emotions, some shaky thoughts. Pay attention to it. Read your realm so you can listen to your ancestors, because there's something about your ancestors, not like, oh, I don't know my ancestors, or I can't contact my ancestors, or however. You're needing to pay attention to your realm so you can better understand how they're trying to connect with you. Sometimes the old ways of connecting just won't work, so you got to go do something different, right? Know this. This is what they're trying to show you, is new knowledge, new ways of connecting with yourself. Again, with the moon, this is a subconscious thing. This is a very intuitive thing, right? And you're needing to really pay attention to that intuition. It comes down to the fact of the self-love, the gratification that you're allowing yourself to have received, that connectivity that you need to have with yourself is not being focused on. That connectivity with outer things is what you're focusing on. And that's why you're not getting your goals. That's why you're not getting your blessings. That's why you feel like you're missing a beat or why things aren't working out, because you're not aware of it. Now is the time to not be blind to it. Now is the time to be aware of it so you can move forward, so you can see past the obstacles, so you can leave this cycle once and for all. You know, this cycle does not serve you. This cycle can be broken, and it's time to break it. There's not a need to continuously look into that mirror and be like, oh, things are never going to change or things are going to be the same. You can change that reality. You can change the output. You can change the outlook. It's up to you, right? There's a time for prayer and there's a time for action. And right now is not really a time for prayer. You've been praying a lot, you've been doing your things a lot. Now you just start putting in that work. I mean, here it is with the air, action, start moving, go quickly. It's time to move. It's time to start acting, vocalizing things. This is the truth. This is the honesty. This is the grounding point for you to be seen. Speak your mind. Don't be trapped in these past ways of being. Don't be trapped in this, oh, no one's gonna understand this, no one's gonna get this or that. Well, first of all, no one needs to understand anything. They need to overstand it. If you're still wanting to say understand, that's cool, but you're not on the same wave. You're not on the same wavelength, I should say. That's fine. But just know what's going on. Don't complain about people not understanding something if you're not going to take the time to explain it to them. And if you want to be like, well, I don't want to because it took me XYZ, then you can be that way, but don't expect anything from anyone else when the time comes, because you're not allowing yourself to actually help anyone. You're just staying in that crowded energy, saying that you want all these changes, and you're not even being a part of that change. So why would you even see those changes if you're not going to be part of it, right? This is, again, earth energy. Ground yourself, work in it, connect with it, connect with yourself, connect with what you're wanting to see so you can bring it to fruition. This is that home, that security. That's the home base. This is where you're wanting to be, right? But you need to take control of that life. There's something that you need to release. There's something you need to not go back to, a past way of being. Don't go back to being greedy with knowledge, with whatever you have. It's time to share it, be open with it. With Neptune, don't fall for the illusion that things aren't going to be in a good way. And it's because your emotions are not working right. The feeling space that you're in is in reverse. It's not, you're not in the flow, and you're needing to be in the flow. That's the biggest thing right now that could really help you with this. That could really show you a different path, a different way of life, a different outcome than what you're seeing, experiencing, and taking part of as well. We're going to get some gentle clarifiers from the Raider White. We'll get the final messages from this. Then we have an animal deck and the Angel Tarot. So any final messages? Any final messages? Any final messages? Just to top the cake off with, you know? Don't, you might have already missed a beat. Don't miss your beat. Do not miss your beat. Pay attention to your feelings. Don't hold off. Things are strenuous because you missed your beat. Things are stressful because you missed your beat. You didn't pay attention to the signs. You can, however, look at the physical. Read the realm around you so you know how to move. It's not too late, but you cashed your chips in at the wrong time. So you just have a little bit of a deduction. You have a little bit of a take back. You can still get to where you're wanting to get, but you have to see it. See it for what it is and not what you want it to be. So you can truly read it and understand what needs to happen. Until then, you're not going to be able to go the way that you're desiring. Until then, you're not going to have the keys that you're wanting. Move with integrity, move the way that you're needing to, and do not let yourself be ruled by fear. Move the way that you want. It doesn't matter about your fear. That fear is irrelevant. That fear is fake. That fear is just an excuse for you not to do what you're desiring. You're disconnected from yourself. You're not engaged with yourself. You need to engage with yourself at this time so you can move forward with the correct mentality that you're needing to get you where you're wanting. That's the final messages. That's the final what I'm getting. Move with what you have. There's a small kindled fire that's around you, and you're needing to just move forward with that energy and trust it wholeheartedly. No matter what this is, a project, a well-being state, whatever. We're gonna get 3 animal cards. We're gonna get the top, the middle, and the split. These cards are so slippery. It does not help that I have oil on my hand either. Alright. The bottom. Split, we'll get the top. The oil is all over these cards, and it's just not even helping me shuffle them at all. Oh Lord. All right. So we have owl, observation. You're being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into a true reality of a situation or person's motives. You need to hear what's really being said despite the words and emotions coming from the messenger. Snake, transformation. You will be shedding old skin and emotions and transforming them into something bigger and better. Change is in the wind, and you are at the center of it all as the catalyst. To smoothen the process, make sure your intentions are clear and that you move forward with hope. And last but not least, zebra, open mindedness. There is more than one way of looking at things. You must be ready to accept alternative viewpoints and new ideas. You must open your eyes to new ideas and a new way of resolving problems. Thank you, Spirit, for coming through. That's just how it is. That's just what we do, you know? But all in all, read your realm. I think I'm going to title it this, dude. Just read your realm. Learn to read your realm. It's your realm. What does it mean to you? How are you going to move with it? You can't be moving in someone else's reality. You need to be moving in yours. So what are you doing? How are you seeing it? Are you seeing it for the truth of it, or are you seeing it as an opinion of it, right? Oh my word. All right. Autumn and the split. We have quite a few annuals today. But we have Rahel, the quickly forgiving God, love and submission, cures illnesses, influences parental love, and gives long life. Mebahel, God, protector and savior, truth and justice, protection from enemies who would steal one's fortune. Hallelujah, God the redeemer, redemption, serves against enemies of religion and governs chastity. Akaya, the forbearing God, patience, reveals secrets of nature, spreads knowledge and industry. Nelashel, the only God, desire of knowledge, protection from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. Mankael, God nurturing and maintaining everything, knowledge of good and evil, appeases divine anger and cures epilepsy. Irathel, the preventing God, propagation of light, confounds the wicked and slanders, saves from enemies. Ayahel, God the highest being, desire to know and the acquisition of wisdom. And I feel like to say your biggest enemy is always going to be you. Sometimes you need to be saved from yourself. Lycabel, God the teacher, intellectual talent and provides knowledge. Asaya, God the impenetrable secret, universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and revelation of mysteries. Last but not least, Uriel, the fire of God, disruption, warrants of disasters, and aids in transformation. And that is the reading. So thank you, angels, for being here. Thank you, God, Mother, Father, for being here. Thank you to all of the passed over loved ones, ancestors, spirit guides, souls, and spirits. And thank you, collective, for being here as well. Thank you all so much for the support. If you're wanting to donate to the fundraiser that I'm running still, it's going to be helping with the tarot classes and stuff, and a bunch of other things. You can do so. You can share the post around. You can donate with the links in the description. If you're interested in any of my services, the readings, books I have, any other services, the tarot services, one-on-one services, you can either use the order form or email me. The tarot and the one I don't the tarot isn't on the order form yet. I'm gonna have to put that on there. So if you're looking for tarot services, email me. But if you need any of them, you can just email me as well, and I can send you the list of them. It doesn't matter. But regardless, thank you all so much for all the support already. All the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, whether energetic or financial. I appreciate them wholly and truly. And I do want to talk a minute about the sharing thing. A lot of people, I've been seeing a lot of people say that I don't have that many people, that follow me or whatever, but I'll still share on my YouTube. It doesn't matter how many people you have. Sharing it like that is an interaction. And the more that you share a video, whether that's copying a link and pasting it somewhere or just sharing it to your own channel, that puts it in the algorithm. So it doesn't matter how many people you have, it's an algorithm. It's an algorithm thing to where if you share it, you like it, or you comment on it, it's going to put it out there more because it's going to show that there's engagement to it. Doesn't necessarily matter about the engagement that you would bring to it. It just puts it out in the algorithm more. And it's a bit of an explanation for it because I see a lot of people talking about it in the comments, and I just felt like mentioning it. But regardless, thank you for everything that you do already. I'm really appreciative of all of it. If you're interested in the Malachi's York books, are also in the description. Dr. Malachi is coming home. If you've been keeping up with the news, then you already know about all the synchronicity that's been happening within the past few weeks, dealing with Malachi, which is very interesting. But regardless, I love each and every one of you all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever, and I will see you all later.